Hello and welcome back to the Crafty Corner. This week over at the Funky Junky Inspiration Avenue blog, we are creating to the theme of We Love You Mom. We are celebrating moms to be, moms that are, moms that have been, mother figures, and anyone that you might have ever looked to as a mentor. So today I am creating a Mother's Day card and a card for a good friend. Now, the cool thing about these cards is that we're going to get a 2-for-1 card using a lift ink technique. I absolutely love lift ink and alcohol ink, so we're going to have some fun today as we play with these two mediums, as well as some of the brand new Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous stamps. If you'd like to see exactly which materials I'm going to be using, go ahead and pause here. All right, let's head over to the Crafty Corner. Since our theme today is all about mothers, we are going to be creating a Mother's Day card. But we're not just creating one card, we're going to be creating two. And we're going to be doing that with a technique using alcohol lift ink. But first, let's go ahead and create our base. For colors today, we're going to be using Laguna, Cobalt, and Vineyard. And to move that around, I'm going to be using some 91% isopropyl. So we're going to take a good dropper full of that and put that right down onto our Yupo paper. I want to have plenty of flow as I start dropping the inks down. And I'm definitely looking for a very flowy background. Okay, I've got that flooded. I also have the Tim Holtz ink blower tool nearby. Now we're just going to drop on some inks and let it flow. And just a little dash of cobalt. Good. Okay, now we're just going to move the ink around with the ink tool. We're just doing little puffs of air. We don't want spin art. So I'm just going to be gently moving the inks around and getting a good color flow. Okay. This shouldn't take too long. I just want to get the background covered, get some ink everywhere, and I'm hoping this is going to give us a really beautiful lift when we go in with our stamp. And today we're going to be pulling out some of the brand new stamps from Tim Holtz that were just released. Those stamps are so gorgeous. So we'll just keep moving the ink around, and it looks like I'm going to need to go in with a little bit more Laguna. Okay, not bad, but I'd like to add a little bit more Laguna. And I think I might even bust out the hairdryer and get a little bit more flow. Alright, just adding a little bit more isopropyl. We'll just try blowing that around a little bit. Ooh, I'm liking what that's doing with the Vineyard. Interesting. And just maybe a little bit more cobalt in the corner. I don't know, I really want to get more of a flow going. This is interesting. Okay. Pretty good. Alright, I'm going to put this on fast forward for a moment, and we're going to bring out the hairdryer and see if we can't get a little bit more motion going. Here is our completed background. Not bad. I'm liking the intense color. It got very flowy, just the way I was hoping it would. So I've got a bit of cleanup to do, but that's pretty easy. I'm just going to set the background aside for the moment, and I'm going to just grab some hand sanitizer, and we're just going to give our surface a quick wipe down. And I'll clean myself up at the same time since I got some ink all over me too. But a little bit of hand sanitizer, inky cloth, and clean work surface. Okay, so now we're going to be getting into the lift part. So we're going to be using lift ink, and I'm also going to be using the Stamp Set Floral Trims. This is CMS 461. These are so pretty, and we're going to be using the top set. So just take that, and we're going to put that onto an acrylic block. Good. And then I'm just going to take some of the lift ink and we're going to stamp that down. Now with the lift ink, since it doesn't have any color, we're going to pick up our stamp to see if we got ink on it. And when I tilt this in the light, we'll be able to see the reflection. There we go. As you can see, there's definitely ink on this. If we have any spots that don't reflect very well, then we go back and add a little bit more lift ink, like right here. Okay. Now we'll take our background and we are going to lift. So I'm just placing my background here and taking the stamp. I'm going to stamp that down. Let's see. Right there should be good. Okay. So now that we've stamped, we're going to be taking this and we're going to be lifting it off of the Yupo paper, and we're going to be placing that down onto some alcohol ink glossy cardstock. This is going to give us a transfer from the alcohol ink with the stamp to a stamped image here on the glossy. So let's go ahead. We've applied some good firm pressure and taking that off. At once we can see that we've got ink on here. And we can also see that we've already got a beautiful lift pattern going. I'm going to come back to the Yupo in a moment or two. Right now, we're going to take the stamp and we're going to stamp it down on the glossy cardstock. Now this part's really neat. The ink is going to act as a resist, and I'm planning on going in with some Distress Reinkers to add a little bit more color to this outline. But let's see what we got. Ooh, beautiful. And here we have our stamped image. It has transferred all of those beautiful colors. It's nice and clear. That's actually perfect because I'm going to want to put a sentiment there. And I'm definitely going to want to add a little bit more color. So we're going to set this part aside and we're going to go back to our background. Next, we're going to take some paper towel and we're going to start dabbing the ink away until we reveal the ghostly image underneath. Here is the lifted image, and this is going to make a gorgeous background. All right, let's go back to the first one. Now on this one, I'm going to be adding some Distress Reinkers to this. I'm going to be watercoloring in some of the detail on the flowers. So we're going to be bringing in the Distress Watercolor palette. Just open that up and we will be adding in some color. Again, for this part, we will just stick this on fast forward as we embellish the card. And this is the finished result from using the Distress Reinkers on our stamped alcohol lift ink. So let's go ahead, set this aside, and we're now going to finish off this card. This is going to be nice and easy. To finish this card off, we're going to be using stacked hearts. We're going to color that in. We're going to add a little bit of velvet trim, and we're going to be adding our sentiment with stamp set Note Quotes CMS 463. So I'm going to go ahead, pull the quote that I want. I'm going to put that right on here. And now I'm going to be adding just a little bit of Winterberry onto this heart, and then we will stamp our sentiment. Giving that a very quick shake, giving this a little spritz, and we're going to just move that around with the water brush. There we go. Nice, quick, easy way to add some color. And the heart gives us the perfect landing zone for our sentiment. Okay, good. So I've got my stamp, and I'm going to grab some Distress Black Archival Soot ink. There, got that. Now let's just take that. We're gonna put that right on here and stamp. Perfect. And next thing we're going to do, we're going to grab some ribbon. Let's see, that should be good. Take that, give that a quick snip. Now before I add the ribbon, I want to go around the outside of this card with some washi tape, and this is from Ideology. So we're just going to take that, give that a quick measure, and I'm just going to run this around the edges. I don't know why, but I really like using washi tape to anchor a card. I really have enjoyed framing things with it. Okay. Put that one down here, and after we have this all framed, then I will come back with the velvet trim and we will add that as well. Okay, continuing around, 2 more sides. All right. Got that. Placing this here. I just love using the washi tape. It is so easy to add borders. Okay, one more side, and then we need to stick down some trim. Okay, placing this right here. Good. All right, now I'm just going to grab some ATG tape, and I'm going to run that along the back of the velvet trim. I find that's the easiest way to get this to stick down. Collage medium definitely works, but I find this is slightly less messy. Okay, and I've got that. So I'm going to turn the card like this because I want my sentiment to be just about in the center. All right, that looks good. Okay, setting that down, tucking those corners behind, and I've got my heart right here, and that's going to go right here, and that will complete this card. Now for the heart, I do want to pop that up with a few foam squares. So I'm just going to grab that, add the foam squares, and this will be all done. 1, 2, 3. Good. Nice, quick, and easy. Okay, and let's stick that foam square thing here. That looks centered. Okay, and this completes our first card for the theme of mothers. All right, that, I really do like that, and the color scheme just, it totally works for me. Okay, let's go ahead and pull back in our second background. Here is our second background. Now for the second background, we are going to continue using the stamp set note quotes. So first, let's go ahead and pull in some of our embellishments for this card. For this card, I have also decided to use some of the brushstroke flower minis. So we've already die cut some of those out, and we will be altering that with a bit of Distress Reinker. But before I do that, I want to do a couple of quick stamps. So first, we're going to use some of the splatters from the note quotes, and that's going to be our landing spot for the sentiment. I'm going to be stamping with some Villainous Potion. And I'm just going to flip my paper over because I want to stamp on the smooth side of the watercolor cardstock. So I'm just going to quickly ink this up, and we'll stamp that down. And I decided that I wanted to do a little bit of layered stamping, and archival ink is going to be perfect for that. So just going to take this, put that there. We've got a nice little ink splotch. And then I'm going to go in with a second layer, and I'm going to be using black archival soot for an outline, and then we'll stamp our sentiment in the middle. Okay. I like this quite a bit. Ooh, nice. Okay, so we've got our splotch, and then I think I'm going to be using some of the metallic stickers for the sentiment, and I will add this in after I've created the landing spot for that section of the card. Let's quickly cut this out, and then we are going to color those little flower elements. Now, those splatters are great. We're just going to kind of do a little wavy pattern around these to get the splatters. And I think I might add a little bit of color to this. Okay, almost there. Looking pretty good. All right. Good. So we got that. Now, let's go ahead and add a little bit of Distress Re-Inker to the florals. Okay, so pulling this back in, and this should be pretty quick. I'm just adding a little dash of color here and there, and then we'll be assembling the flowers. Okay, so with the water brush, I'm just going to go in, grabbing a bit of Twisted Citron, just splashing that down. This is going to be a very, very quick watercoloring. All right, a little bit of Mowed Lawn. There we go. And since everything's already die cut, I've got sticky back adhesive on the back. It's going to make this super easy to assemble. And now I want a few blue and maybe some of that peacock color. Yeah, peacock feathers. That's going to look good. Okay. There. Just trying to stick with our color theme. Alright. And a little bit of purple. Purple will look good. Just quickly coloring this in. The whole idea today is quick cards. Because sometimes deadlines just sneak up on you and you need something really quick when you are trying to create something in the last minute. Okay, I like that. Now over here, I think I want another blue. Let's see. Got some prize ribbon. That'll work. Alright, that's good. Now I need one more color. I'm going to go with a bit of chipped sapphire over here for a contrasting darker color. That should be really good. Okay, now I just need a little dash of green over here. And I need a little splash of yellow. I think I'm going to go for some fossilized amber since I'm looking for a slightly darker contrasting yellow for this segment. Okay, so these are all set. We're going to now put this on fast forward as we assemble our little floral. Now let's assemble the rest of our card. So we have our background, and we're going to be placing this little piece of embossed metallic cardstock over the top, and then we'll layer that up with this part, and then we're going to do a few little florals around the edges. So first we need some ATG. Let's go ahead, put that on the back. Okay, I'll stick this down. That seems pretty good. Okay, now I do want a few foam squares again to pop up the center part. That's looking good. Take that, put these here. Okay, that's going to go right in the center. Now I want to take my florals. We're going to add those around the edges of this. Okay, so just peeling these off here. So much easier when we have things that are already kind of pre-prepared and just ready to go. It makes the assembly process so much easier and that much more fun. Okay, let's grab these. Ooh, definitely liking that. Okay, that can go right along here. And one last little clump of flowers, and then we'll add the leaves in. Yep, let's put that along the bottom, I think. Lift that up, place that here, then this can go right along here. Excellent. Okay, and now the last little bit, we need our leaves. There, and then one more little cluster of leaves. Let's see. I think I'll put these over here. And I think I need a little bit more leafy green on the side, but good news, I have got some little pre-cut die pieces all ready to go. I love die cutting little bits and pieces from scraps, because you never know when you might just need a little something extra to slide in on a project. Okay, that should take care of that. Just need a little bit of collage medium, and I'll just stick those leafy greens right in. Okay, perfect, and one more right around here. Excellent. There. And the last thing that I want to do will be to add our sentiment and maybe another border. I'm thinking about that. Get that leafy green. Good. Okay, now let's take a look at our sentiment options. So I'm using the metallic sticker book, and I'm going to be going for, oh, if I could find a hello friend, that would be perfect. There's always so many choices. Oh, perfect. There we go. Hello friend. Okay, and we'll just stick that right across the middle. Yep, that definitely needs an addition to the border. So, let's see. I've got two different choices that I like. I think this one. Okay, so we're just going to run some washi tape around the edge, and then we will have our second completed card. Okay, so I'll just keep running that around the edges. Now, this has been very fun. I absolutely love using alcohol lift ink. It gives such a great effect, and it's nice that you get really two cards for one. Since you're lifting off the ink, you get that really cool ghostly look left behind, and then you have the ink that's actually on your stamp, which can be used to stamp out on another background to create something. So if you're in a hurry, I highly recommend lift ink because you're going to double your productivity by making use of that second image. Okay, Stick this here, and I've got one more side to do. So today our color scheme has been dipping into the cool tones. We've been using blues and purple and a bit of teal from Laguna. And then we were able to echo those colors in the Distress inks with a bit of Peacock, Wilted Violet, Mermaid Lagoon, and Prize Ribbon. And even a dash of Villainous Potion. Okay, and here is the second completed card. Let's go ahead and bring back the first one, and we'll take a closer look at what we have created. Here we are. These are the two cards that we have created while making to the theme of mothers. So I was in dire need of a Mother's Day card, so this was the perfect opportunity to create to that theme for me. I decided to feature two of the new Tim Holtz stamp sets. We have been featuring note quotes with the little splatter and the sentiment here. And we also had a chance to play with floral trims. Floral trims is so beautiful. I absolutely love the detail, and using that stamp for lift ink was absolutely perfect. We have our ghostly lifted background, and we have our inky background, which was then altered with Distress re-inkers to create a beautiful floral image. Thank you so much for joining me here today at the Crafty Corner. I hope that you've had some fun with this little tutorial with lift ink and some of the new Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous stamps. If you would like written details, go ahead and check out the blog link down below, and be sure to check out the other fantastic creative makes from my teammates over at the Funky Junky Inspiration Avenue blog. And until next time, happy crafting!